頼ってくれてありがとう。嬉しかったわ。
Persona 5X Phantom is almost here, and hopefully everyone is hyped about it. But for the people who don't know what Persona 5X Phantom is, well, let me explain it to you. Persona 5X Phantom is a mobile game being released in China, and South Korea, and later on in Japan, but we will talk about Japan later. The game is being developed by Black Wings Game Studio, and the publisher is Perfect World Games, the same people of One Punch Man World mobile game. Of course, the game will be turn-based, just like the other Persona games, and it is authorized from Sega and Atlus watching over the game. The story is really a spin-off of Persona 5, and it's basically a parallel universe, with new characters like Wonder, Cattle, Closer, and Soy, and other characters, which is nice. And a lot of people will enjoy that, but since this still is Persona 5, you will have the older cast show up in the game as well. So for most people, it's just Persona 5 but on mobile, which they ain't wrong at all. If you look at the App Store, it will say expected April 12, 2024, which it is confirmed from Perfect World Games to be the open beta date. Now remember when I said that the game will be released in Japan? One of the famous Persona leakers said on March 18th that,
"Don't worry. The Japanese closed beta test for Persona 5X is not delayed. It has always had plans to be announced at a later time. The focus is on launching in China and Taiwan first. Atlus and Sega have a lot of ambitions and visions for Persona 5X launch in Japan."
So yeah, they will focus a bit on China and Taiwan release first, and then they will do the Japan version, which is totally understandable for a mobile game. But many people will ask themselves, will this game ever get an English version at all in the near future? Well, if you check the app information, in the App Store China version, you can see that languages for the game is English, Japanese, Korean, simplified Chinese, traditional Chinese, which kinda surprised me since this is the Chinese version. And I wouldn't have expected seeing them laying out all the languages on this version. And I was confused that I checked another Chinese game and it just said its language was Chinese. So I wasn't going crazy and it all makes sense, since you can see the Chinese language being there in Korean and Japanese, since those will be getting their version in their country. But seeing English was a surprise, but our favorite Persona leaker, Midoriya, said on February 20th,
An English version for United States launch of Persona 5X is being developed.
And the leaker replied to someone saying,
United States only, so like no Europe?
Not just United States only.
So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if this game came out in other countries with different languages. But first we gotta see how the game does in these Asia countries. Personally me, I would say if they can do a good story and not make the gacha system that bad, then this game can be very fun to play. And I know that many people will be happy and enjoy the game if everything goes well. After all, the Persona hype is big, especially from Reload, so I wouldn't doubt that people would want more content. And with this mobile game, it can help cover the fact that we gotta wait for Persona 6. But yeah, that's really all the news so far. I will be waiting for the game to open and so I can play it and see how it is. What's your guys' thoughts on all of this?